Facebook family. Elevate, March 13th, 2024, episode 127. I cannot believe it. Episode 127. Man, we're making our way. I was watching somebody else's podcast and they were at episode 1000. I was like, wow, So we're at 127. We're making our way there. Hello, everybody. I hope everybody's having a great day. It's 7:01, episode 127. I'm not telling the topic yet because I got a question first. And I want to get everybody to chime in when you're out there. Please chime in that you're out there so I know that you're out there. You can put your name, you can put your city. Be great. But right now, Char's got a huge order. She's trying to do some things. I think she's going to make some of this today with us, and then she's going to miss some. But she'll be making her way up here shortly. But very glad to be here today. Very excited about our topic. I wanted to go over some housekeeping things before we go much further. I want us to make sure we continue praying for Karen. Karen's making progress, and that's an awesome thing. So very happy about Karen. My parents are on. Thanks for the 127. And my Aunt Stephanie and my grandmother are on. I think this is my grandmother's first time seeing the broadcast. And of course, I got a special shout out for her. So as you come on, please chime in. Let us know you're out there. But I also want to do a shout out for Dawn Staley. We talked about Dawn Staley last week, and she's the coach, the women's coach of the basketball team, University of South Carolina. She's one of the highest paid women's coaches out there. She's won 2 national championships. She's won multiple gold medals in the Olympics. She's won as a coach and she's won as a player. She's awesome. But last year they got her. LSU got her. And that coach of LSU became the highest paid coach. Women's basketball kind of dropped her down to 3rd. But they just had the SEC, which is the conference that South Carolina and the same conference that LSU is in. And Dawn Staley and her team won. They won that. So awesome job. Wanted to give a shout out since we just talked about her for winning the SEC championship. It was kind of dramatic. They had a big fight breakout, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out because you had the NCAA tournaments coming. So anyway, shout out to Dawn Staley. Also want to give a shout out to my grandmother. Her birthday's coming up tomorrow. So happy birthday, Grandma. I would sing, but I want people to stay on the call. So I don't want everybody to leave. So that's how bad my singing is. But happy birthday. Happy birthday. Hope you're having fun while you're out there. Today, before we get into our topic and name the topic, I wanted to make sure we kind of go over what Elevate is about. Elevate is a leadership program. We consult, we coach. I'm going to tell you my greatest strength is to coach one-on-one. This is not my strength to be on a podcast talking to a screen where I see myself. Or is it to write? And I'm struggling writing the book, but I'm making progress. But it's just a struggle. It's just not who I am. I'm having to change and adjust and adapt. But at the end of the day, what we do as a company is that we coach and we train people on leadership principles. We coach them through scenarios. We have all kind of coaching methods. We have what you call HOPE cards, and HOPE stands for holistic, optimistic, penetrating, and enhancing. And what we do is we have situations and we say, hey, leaders, what would you do in this situation? And of course, there's probably 50 different things that can be done. But what we're looking for is that we follow that pattern, that you do it, that you provide hope whenever you coach. It's not something where you just beating somebody down. So at the end of the day, that's what we do. We do a lot of stuff in Elevate, and Elevate's the namesake of the program. And it's also an acronym: expectations, leadership, ethics, vision, attitude, temperaments, and effectiveness. Hey, Tamika, it's good to see you on there. Be careful. Mother Brenda, it's good to see you on there. We just wished my grandmother happy birthday. Her birthday's tomorrow. So you guys, if y'all can wish her happy birthday, it'd be great. We also Elevate. So normally if you can do the seminars, and what we do here on Wednesdays, we do mini seminars. We do basically about 15 minutes, try to give you a taste of what we're all about. And then we also can do seminars on certain topics. We've talked about money. We have philosophies and things that we really believe in that we teach. I found that if you don't touch on these subjects, these are kind of things that can take somebody out. If you're in a position where you can give somebody 6-digit salary and then you don't teach them about money, oh man, you're digging your own grave. That person's not going to be able to stay in position too long. So at the end of the day, we touch on a lot of things. We touch on anything that has to do anything with leadership, which is a whole bunch. So very, very excited about that. So we do the mini seminars on Wednesday. We also can do seminars on the side. And then we can do the Elevate program, which is usually an hour and a half per letter. The only difference is on ethics and vision. If you spell out the word elevate, the second E is ethics, and then the V behind it is vision. We do those two together because I believe that their ethics wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for a vision. So anyway, how you doing, Ann? We gave an update on Karen. Ann is Karen's sister. So we're very happy that Karen's making progress, and we continue to pray for her. Now, who are we? So when I say we, I'm talking about my wife and I, because we run the company, and basically we are coaches. And I always tell people there's 3 different types of coaches you can get out there. And you can get what I call, let's see if I can still remember the little term, the 3 words I use. But it's basically you have coaches out there that I call degreed. And that's like your 3rd level. And we're going to go from bottom to top. So these are degreed people. These are people that got, master's or higher degrees. They've done a lot of work. They've studied. They've read a lot of books. And they have a lot of opinions. But they've never led anything except themselves. They've never led a team. Thank you, Ann. One day at a time, making progress. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Ann. So that's your degreed, right? Golly, the second one's escaping me. But the second one is, golly, I'm getting old. I can't believe this. Chardell, hey there, multitasking. Yeah, Char is multitasking. That buys me some time to think about what the second level is. But the second level is a person that's right there in the midst. They weren't the leader, but they were right there, and they were very important. They're integral to making that thing happen, but they weren't the leader. The number 1 level is the doer, and the doer is the person that, and this is on our website too, y'all, but the doer is the person that actually led it. And it's just a difference. It's a big time difference between those 3 levels. All 3 levels can give you something and you can grow from them, but you definitely can learn the most from the doer. And we pride ourselves ourselves, meaning my wife and I, pride ourselves into saying that we are doers. Shar has her own cupcake company. She's been doing it over 10 years. And then, of course, she's a business analyst and a project manager. And then, of course, I've been in leadership for over 30-something years. And, I can tell you stories for days, of wins and losses. And we want to share that with people that want to get involved in it. So, and elevate and want to grow. So, yep, you're getting old. So let me tell you this whole rocking chair. Y'all don't know if y'all see that pound rocking chair. We can just do quick. We got a little time. So we bought some chairs for the bedroom. There's a little sitting area in the bedroom. You got the bed, you got a little bay window, and there's a little sitting area. So, we bought 2 chairs, and Shar calls them old people chairs. And I'm like, what do you mean old people chairs? And she says, because I sit over there and I rock in them. And the thing about these chairs is that they rock this way, and they also rock like this, and they turn like this. It's just fun chair. But every time I sit over there, she calls me old people. And I'm like, okay, anyway. And I just want to know, is having a chair in your bedroom that can swivel, that can recline, that can rock, is that an old people chair? I just want to hear what the people across America say. So y'all chime in real quick. 1 is yes, 2 is no. 1 is yes, that's an old people chair. 2, no, it's not an old people chair. It's just good furniture in the bedroom. So just chime in what you think. Forget you, Tamika. Forget you. Okay. But yeah, you're just comfortable. Thank you. Thank you. So anyway, I'm getting bombarded by Kai always calling me old man just because he's 13 and he still got placenta behind his ear. And then I hear Shar talking about uh, I have a love seat in my bedroom. See, there you go. So let's see what else. Ann Rockin' Kelsey. I knew Ann was gonna have something to say. Dad said, no, it's not about being old people. Good, good. All right. So anyway, she got me off track. So anyway, who is our customer? That's where we are right now. Who is our customer? Our customer is the person that's just getting into leadership. Of course, we can help people at different levels, but that's who ideally Elevate was written for. That person that was just a hustler, that person that was just getting things done. And they were getting things done at such a level that the supervisors, the people in charge said, hey, we want you to be in leadership. And they said, sure. And of course, they were naive. They had all these ideas of things they were going to change and do and all that. And they don't understand a whole bunch of things. They just want to win. And they got the confidence to say, you know what? I can lead a team. And even though they don't really have a lot of experience leading a team, that is our customer. It can be Jane. It can be John. You know, that's our customer. So that's what we're looking for. Now, this is the question I want to ask everybody because I know it's 7:12. Before I tell you the title, I want to ask you this question. Do you consider yourself to be an optimist, a pessimist, or a realist? And whatever you choose, define what it is, if you can, real quick. Don't have to be wordy. You don't have to copy and paste and go to Google. Just make it. You know, if you say, "Hey, I'm an optimist," what does that mean to be an optimist? If you're a pessimist, what does that mean? If you say you're a pessimist, if you're a realist, what does that mean? If you say you're a realist, how would you define it? What you say you are? That's what we're talking about today. And I just wanted to hear you guys' opinion before we move on, because we're going to talk about that, and we're going to do this in two parts. There's a part one and it's a part two. And I'm going to try to make this as interesting as possible. I hope nobody falls asleep on me. Ann says, a pessimist. That's why I hang out with Miss B, because she's an optimist. you ain't lying. Mother Brenda's the ultimate optimist. Uh, and how would you describe pessimist, Ann? How would you describe it? I know it's elementary, but how would you define that? You said you're a pessimist. So if anybody, Dad said optimist, our best days are yet to come. All right. Who else? Uh, Realistic at keeping it real, being your authentic self. Okay. Who else? Who else? Who else wants to comment on that? Optimist and realist. I want to be positive and remain realistic. So the title of today's subject today, and it looks like we got about a few people on. If you've already chimed in and put your name on, please put your name on, because I just see numbers up there. I don't know who's on and who's not. If you don't type your name in, I won't know you're out there and I won't get a chance to say hello. So please put your name in there, and you can put what city you're from. So today's topic today, and it's going to be next week's topic, is I choose optimism. It's episode 127. I choose optimism. That's what we're talking about today. And I wanted to share this quote because it says, you can never confuse, and this is actually in our ebook, this quote. This is actually in our ebook. It says, you can never confuse faith that you will prevail in the end, which you can never lose, with the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of your current reality, whatever they might be. You can never confuse faith with that you will prevail in the end, which you can never lose that faith, with the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of your current reality, whatever that might be. So that was written by Admiral Stockdale. And to me, that's optimism. If I had to sit there and say, how do you define optimism? By always having the faith that you will prevail in the end. And you can take these to micro situations, right? You can talk about the goal you're trying to have for your backpacks, or maybe the goal you're trying to have for the money you're trying to, in sales you're trying to get to. Whatever your goals are, you can take these and make them micros. But you got to have that faith that you'll win in the end. But you got to be able to confront the brutal facts. the reality at the same time. That, to me, that's how I define optimism. So uh, I I say, to me, and this is very opinionated, so I'm sure I can get shot down, 10 different ways here, but I am saying I'm choosing optimism. And when I say that, because I really feel like there's only two choices, really. I really feel like, and I know I laid three out there, right? Being an optimism pessimist or being realist. I really feel like being a realist isn't really a category. To me, a realist is a person that's a pessimist that doesn't want to make it look too bad. that's, that's just my opinion. All right. So you're a pessimist and you say, you know what? I want to clean it up so it doesn't look like I'm just negative all the time. And I'm just going to call myself a realist. But to me, there's only really two options: an optimist and a pessimist. So the reason, and I'm going to choose optimism. And I want to make sure that I'm clear on this. Um, I'm up here looking to make sure I didn't miss anything. But basically, just in case, I already kind of defined what an optimist is: a person that can look at things and understand the reality of their situation, but they believe that even looking at their reality, that they're still going to win. That's an optimist. But they still are putting in the work to fix the things that are wrong because they can see what's going on. So it's not somebody just says, "Yeah, we're going to win. We're going to win." They got their eyes closed and they just say, "We're going to do it. We're going." That's not an optimist. An optimist is a person that says, "Yeah, I see all the problems I have, and I believe. I really do. I believe we're still going to win, and I know we got a plan. I know what we're going to do to overcome those obstacles." Now, a pessimist, a person who tends to see the worst aspect of things or believe that the worst will happen. So when I say I will choose optimism, I only really have two choices. I can either be the person that can say, you know what, I'm going to believe that we're going to win and fix these issues, or I'm going to be the person that says, you know what, I look at the worst aspect of things and I believe that the worst things will happen. Those are my two choices. So I'm going to choose optimism. And I want to explain this because this is why I'm going to do this in two parts. So this is 7:18. This is 7:18 p.m. But we're going to do this in two parts because I want to get some examples, because I think these are words that we throw around so easily, and I really don't feel like overall, we have a good grip on them, as a society. So I'm going to give you an example, one right here. So I was in a situation. This is probably about 6-7 years ago, where we were having a great period. In my world, a period is 4 weeks. So we're doing great in sales. Things are hustling. Things are going. We're booming. And then week 4 happened. I'm sorry. Week 3 happened. Week 3 was terrible. Now we got one more week, but we're on pace to break the record at that store. We're on pace to break the record in the city. And we were feeling pretty good about ourselves until week 3 happened. Week 3, sales went down. And I'm going to tell you, I'm naturally, if I don't choose optimism, I'm naturally a pessimist. If I don't choose optimism, I'm naturally a pessimist. So I go to my team, and at the time, it was, when I say my team, my leadership team, it was like 2 or 3 guys at the moment. We're sitting there, and I went over the week 3 numbers, and they're like, "Oh man, it was a terrible week. Oh man, oh man." And I said, "Well, I guess we're not going to break that record." And the A1, who was my first assistant, was like, "Oh man, we're going to break that record, Kurt." Now, I did what you're supposed to do, right? I'm telling the people something negative. That's not a good leader, right? I'm telling the people something negative. And then the guy says, "No, we're going to break that record." I'm going to say, "Well," and so then I said, "Oh, we are, huh? So let me tell you, do you know what we got to do to break the record?" He's like, "No." I said, "We got to do 28,000, 29,000. I'm just letting you know that this store has never done that. It's never done it." I'm saying, I know it's possible. It's probably not probable. That's me calling myself, because I used to call myself a realist, because I just cleaned up being a pessimist. I call myself a realist. So I said, "I'm just saying it's possible, but probably not probable." He's like, "We're going to break it, Kurt." So I'm like, "All right, if y'all with it, I'm with it. I'm going to get with it." So I got with it. And I tell you what, we broke the record. True story. True story. And I learned a lesson that in that minute, in that situation, I chose optimism. I could have been the guy that laid out facts after facts after facts to win the argument. That this guy that don't know nothing, the guy that I trained, hell, I trained you. You think we're going to win? You don't even know nothing yet. I'm the one that trained you. I could have went that route, but the energy, the focus, that whole group of 2, 3 guys came together, and we broke the record. And it always is a learning lesson for me, because I didn't believe we were going to do it. I really didn't, but I didn't get in the way. That's the difference. I didn't get in the way. I joined the team and I gave the effort because I wanted us to win. I just didn't think we were going to win. So that, and when we talk about optimism, that's what I mean. In that particular situation, I chose optimism, even though it started out wrong. Now, I wanted to really go into pessimism, because we talked about pessimism a little bit. And if you can chime in, if you're still there, if I put you asleep already, put a one down if you're still awake. Put a one down, please, please, please. Put a one down if you're still awake. But I equate pessimism with negativity, and I equate negativity with cancer. I believe with everything in me that being negative is a cancer. What can be built in negative cultures or negative environments? What can you accomplish with a negative mentality? Thank you. I got a couple there. Thank you. Thank you. And when I say a cancer, I'm talking about something that's destructive, just something that's destructive. And what I've noticed over the years, just looking at myself and looking at other people, I've noticed that destruction always affects 3 areas. It affects your conduct, your personal conduct. It affects your creativity, and it affects the culture. It just really does. It affects your personal conduct. It erodes healthy behaviors whenever there's a lot of negativity. It affects your creativity, your imagination, ideas. Why are you imagining? Everything's bad, right? There's no need to use the imagination. In culture, the whole collective, the whole team environment is negatively affected in a very pessimistic environment. So I encourage everybody, and I know we got 7 minutes. What I'm encouraging everybody to do is dare to be optimistic, no matter what. So, like, even if there's situations that you don't believe, then be optimistic. Now, I want to get into the people aspect, but I'll do that next week, because it can be. Does that mean that the crackhead that just shot somebody, I got to be optimistic and then let him in my home? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that in situations like that, the one I gave, or situations that I'll give some more examples next week, but in situations kind of like the story I gave, that we hang our hat on optimism and don't let negativity lead. Because then when it doesn't happen, then guess what you say? Oh, I told you so. Well, you created it. You created a negative environment, and you just sucked all the energy out. And then once all the energy's gone, then you say, hey, see, I didn't get it done. Well, you sucked all the energy out. So uh, the other thing I wanted to say right here is, the other thing I wanted to say was, I'm trying to get to my second page here, is that if you dare to be positive, if you dare to be a true optimist, there's really 4 things you got to be if you really want to dare to be. And then we're going to finish up on this. We got 5 minutes, and we'll kind of fly through it a little bit. And I got these kind of in order. But one, you're going to have to be disgusted. You got to be a person that is disgusted with the way things are in that particular area that you're trying to win in. You got to be disgusted. You see things and you're disgusted to a point where you say, well, you know what? I can complain about it, or I can change it. And then you say, you know what? I'm going to do what I can do to change it. And it starts off with a disgust. And then the second thing you have to be is you got to be delusional, because delusional people believe things that are not possible can be made possible. So what I mean by delusional is that you're a person that believes that the impossible can be made possible. You got to be a little delusional if you want to be optimistic. Think about, and I know this is probably old. But think about the Wright brothers. To me, that's just crazy. I think about them all the time. You try to build a plane. You try to build it and it crashes. It crashes hundreds of times, but you keep trying to build this thing. People are getting hurt. You keep trying to build this thing. There was something in them that kept them going. And they better be glad it wouldn't be planes if it was me, because after I fell out that thing, or if after I got hurt one time, that'd be the end of building. So, but at the end of the day, you got to be a little delusional. And then this last point, I know it's 726, and I'm going to combine these points. It's point 3 and 4. You got to be determined and dedicated. Determined and dedicated. So what I'm saying is that they're very similar in meaning, right? But determination is more of a conviction or a goal. And then dedication is more about the effort it takes to make that goal happen. So you got to be determined and dedicated. So if you really want to be an optimist, if I really want to be an optimist and I say, you know what, in 2024 by June, I'm going to be 240. And I know y'all like, man, 240, that's a lot. No, that is great right now. If I was 240, I'd be happy. So I'm going to be 240. If I'm going to be an optimist, I got to be disgusted about where I am right now. I got to be a little bit delusional and say, you know what? I can't look at all the negative things, right? I can't look at all the negative things. Well, you know, how long I've been at this weight. I got to look at, hey, we're going to make it happen. And then I got to be determined and dedicated. And remember, determination is more of a conviction. Dedication is more of the effort and the work it takes to make it happen. So those are the 4 points today. And I'll give an example of this. I like to give an example of this since we got 3 minutes. This is an example. I am determined to learn English, and I am dedicated to the work until it'll take it to improve it. So I am determined to learn English, and I am dedicated to the work it will take to improve. Example, I dedicated my life to playing the piano because I was determined to be the best musician. It's a little bit different between determined and dedication, but you need both if you're really going to be an optimist, you know. And we're most of us on this call have a lot of different situations. We got people underneath us and people around us, and we influence people at a high degree. Most of the people on this call. And if we haven't made the choice to be optimistic, man, we're in trouble, because that means you're influencing all those different people that look up to you. You're being a negative influence to them. So next week, we'll dive into a 22-year-old study they did on optimism, a 22-year study they did on optimism. We're going to dive into that, and that'll be the end of this subject about choosing. I will choose optimism. If you got anything out of it, it's 7:29. Please put your ones down. If it wasn't clear, put a 2 down, or call me, let me know. But when I say I'm choosing optimism, I am going to be more dedicated and more focused on choosing optimism. And I'm going to make sure that I am a person that is disgusted, but I don't let that disgust cause me to be negative. I'm going to be a person that's a little delusional. And then I'm going to be a person that is determined and dedicated. So thank you, Tamika. Shar gave me a 1. Oh, look at that. Oh, Bobby gave me a 1. Bobby, boy, you going to come on and say you're here at 7:29. Bobby's one of my supervisors back in the day, guys. Brilliant guy. I use, oh man, I can't even go into everything, but he was influential with me, very influential with me. Bobby's a good friend of RD. We've talked about Bobby. I don't know if y'all remember. We talked about you, Bobby. You and RD. We interviewed RD, and we had some stories with you guys. So really appreciate you coming on. Bobby lives in Arizona, and man, I haven't seen him in probably, golly, I feel like probably 20 years, 25 years. So thanks for coming on, Bobby. At 7:30, remember our slogan: be intentional, focus on growth, and elevate now. You guys have a great one. Thanks a lot.